Hello everybody, how are you? It is a Tuesday after our marvelous 3-day weekend, Memorial Day weekend. I hope you had a great Memorial Day weekend. I want to talk to you today about raising your consciousness, taking your spiritual self to the next level. And it starts with the power of the blue rose. And by the way, I'm Karen Barno, welcome. If you need any help redesigning your life, let me know. If you have any questions, go over to my website, KarenBarno.com, or my Facebook page, which obviously you're at. And if you're on my YouTube channel, give me a subscribe. Okay, the power of the blue rose helps to lift you up. It helps to kind of put the three key elements into focus: hope, forgiveness, and love. All three of them together will help you see your life differently. It will help you gain a better understanding of why you do what you do and how you do it. But the most important question I always think is why. Because when you look at the three of them and you look at hope, sometimes I look around and I'm not sure people have a lot of hope. And if you don't have hope, what do you have? You have to have hope for a better tomorrow. Maybe, or may not be tomorrow, or better next week or next month or next year. It doesn't matter what you're going through. There's always going to be the yin to the yang. So if you're going through a lot of negatives, eventually the tide turns to positive. If you have no money, eventually the tide will turn that you have money. It's the balancing of the universe. But the only thing that will bring that into your life is hope. I mean, no matter what I went through in my life, and no matter how bad it got, I still knew, I had a fundamental belief that it would get better. Now, I kind of, as I went through, realized in order for it to get better, I had to get better. I had to move from negative to positive. I had to move from being me-centered to world-centered. And it came from having hope. It came from knowing that there's a bigger reason out there. Because it doesn't matter what you went through, there's a reason for it. There's always a reason. And it may not be something we see, quickly. It may take us a couple years or a couple decades, but we will eventually see what the purpose of that negative thing in our life was to serve us moving forward. And that's why you have to have hope. And I think there's a Bible quote, I'm not even going to try to quote the Bible, but without hope, people perish. And I see so many people. And I just had lunch with an amazing person, Sharon, with No Judgment, Just Love. And we were talking about that, how it just seems like people are running out of hope. People are getting angry. People are getting mad. And they're taking it out on one another. But sadly, more importantly, they're taking it out on themselves. And that's where forgiveness comes in. It's not forgiving the world. It's not forgiving those that have caused you harm or trespassed against you. It's forgiving you. The hardest person to forgive is yourself, because no matter what happens, we have a tendency to blame ourselves. If I wouldn't have gone to that party that night, if I wouldn't have had those drinks, if I wouldn't have taken that job, or if I wouldn't have dated that woman or that guy, or drove my car and taken a left instead of a right, or if I wouldn't have, been born into a different family. I mean, we all beat ourselves up instead of just saying, you know what happened happened. It happened for a reason. And I'm going to forgive myself, because whatever role I feel that I played in it, it was the role I was supposed to play. And so I'm going to forgive myself for that shortcoming. I'm going to forgive myself for whatever I perceived that I did wrong. Because most of the time, it wasn't you that did something wrong. It was somebody that caused you harm. It wasn't you that was drunk driving. It was the drunk driver that was drunk driving. You just were driving down the road. It wasn't you that was, preying upon people. It was somebody preying upon you. And so you have to be able to forgive yourself and able to move from shame. I think shame is one of the worst emotions that people get caught up in. They feel shame for what happened to them, and they don't want anybody to know, and they keep their head down, and they don't make eye contact, or they're walking in the shadow of a very shameful experience that wasn't their fault. But if they went back and said, okay, I have hope for a better tomorrow, I have a hope that I will heal, and I have hope that I will be able to raise my consciousness to understand that this wasn't on me, then it helps eliminate your shame and heal your shame, and therefore forgive yourself. Because beating yourself up is, you might as well get up every morning and pull out a razor blade and slit your hand. Or get up every morning and punch yourself. Or get up every morning and cause yourself harm. Because that's basically what you're doing by not forgiving yourself. You're constantly hurting yourself over and over, because the person that you feel caused you harm, or the situation that caused you harm, has moved past it. I mean, they always tell you, they guess in a 12-step program, they tell you, to go apologize to everybody. And I don't know if you've ever done that. You apologize to somebody, they look at you like, what in the heck are you talking about? I don't even know what you're talking about, because they forgot it, moved on. It wasn't, and if they preyed upon you, that's who they are. So they don't think they did anything wrong. It's who they are. It was their destiny that they were following. I tell people, you don't need to call people up and say, gee, I'm sorry this or sorry that, or I forgive you. It's not up for you to forgive them. I give it to God. God, you figure it out, God. You decide if you want to forgive them or not. I forgive them to you. If you want to forgive them, then you can go let them know. But it's not up to me to do it. And it's not up to you. You just need to forgive yourself. You need to get off your own back. You need to quit beating yourself up mercilessly on something that couldn't have been avoided or shouldn't have been avoided because it was your destiny. And once you realize the role you play in your own life, once you realize that it's predestined, once you understand that you chose this, to me it's one of the most freeing emotions there are. Because, okay, if I chose this, then at the end of this, at the end of my life, then I'm going to have my Blue Rose bookstore on the beach, my used bookstore with a band and food and drinks and, a gathering place for everybody to come look at books. I don't care if you buy a book or not. It'll be more of a community gathering place, a fireplace outside, everything. So I'm good with that. Understand the role you played along with your destiny, and just forgive yourself and get yourself off your own back, and eliminate the feelings of shame, because you have nothing to be ashamed of. You're exactly who you're supposed to be. You're exactly where you're supposed to be at this moment in time. So there's no shame. It's only love, and that's the third part of the triangle. You have hope, you have forgiveness, and you have love. But it's not external love, it's loving you. You have to love you. If you can't look in the mirror and say, I am awesome, I am freaking awesome, I love myself, I'm having a great hair day, my makeup looks great, my eyebrows look great, oh, look at the blouse I have on. Doesn't matter. If you can't look in the mirror, then we need to talk. Because you've got to love yourself. You're not going to get love from outside forces. You're not going to get love from other people. You've got to love yourself and allow them to love you. But if you don't love yourself, it's hard for them to love you. If you don't forgive yourself, it's hard for them to love you, because you have this wall. And I know, because I had a wall for years and years and years. It was impenetrable. I didn't want people to penetrate this wall. I wanted to keep people at arm's length so I wouldn't get hurt, because I was an unforgivable person. When I realized, once you give forgiveness and learn your rules, then love is so easy. I would much rather love than any other emotion. I would much rather come to work every day filled with love. I would much rather drive home filled with love and give love to the world. And if they accept it, that's great. If they don't, that's on them as well. But you have to love yourself first. And the only way you can love yourself is to have hope and know that you're an amazing person, to forgive, and just forgive. Sometimes it's like I forgive the world. I don't know what I'm forgiving. It's just like I forgive everybody. It's all good. Because why be in any emotion that's not positive? Why be in any emotion that's not empowering? Because you're just hurting yourself. I mean, when you're living in shame, you're hurting yourself. You're not hurting anybody around you. Most of the people probably don't even notice. If you don't love yourself, probably most of the people around you don't know. Because they never took time, because you make sure when you don't love yourself to surround yourself around people that won't care. Because they love themselves and they want you to love them. They don't care if you don't love you, as long as you love them. Whether they're narcissistic, codependent, they want you to love them, and so they don't pay attention to what you're doing. But once you understand that and you realize you've got to love yourself, you've got to be comfortable with yourself. I know people that have never lived alone. I am fascinated by that. They, grew up, they went to college, they lived in a dorm, they got married, they lived with their husband, now they're 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, and they got a divorce, husband died, whatever, and they have to live alone for the first time, and they're scared to death because they never had to sit with themselves. To me, I love sitting with myself. I love meditating. I love asking the universe, what am I supposed to learn today? What do you want me to know? Show me where you want me to go next. Show me who you want me to help. Show me what Facebook Live video to do. Because I'm comfortable in my own skin, and you have to be comfortable in your own skin. Because once you are, love will be so easy. Because in order to give love, you have to have love. And when you have love, everybody around you senses it. Everybody around you knows you're not there to cause harm. Everybody around you knows, pretty much she's coming from a place of love. Now, nobody loves 24 hours a day. I mean, we all have bad days when we're kind of like, "Arr." But behind is still love. So you have to have hope. And if you don't have hope, sit down and ask yourself why you don't. Look within. What childhood imprint, what bruise was left on your soul by somebody else that said something to you that was very hurtful. And people are like, well, my mom and dad were perfect. It doesn't have to be your mom and dad. It could be a teacher, aunt, an uncle, the mailman. Hell, who knows? It could have been somebody that just walked by you at the mall and said something mean to you because they were so filled with hate. They wanted you to be filled with hate. So they said something mean to you, but you internalized it. And you made it this big thing that you carry around in this big bag behind you. All these childhood imprints, all these bruises on your soul. But if you have the hope that you can heal them, and you can, because as soon as you start raising your consciousness, as soon as you start taking more spiritual approach to your life, once you go inward and be willing to go inward and look at what you're doing and what you're thinking and what's motivating you, then it helps you to the outer world. Because once you heal yourself, you can help the outer world heal. And I think over the next couple years, next maybe decade, I don't know how long, you're going to see people's consciousness raise. You're going to see more women wake up and think, I'm going to bring spirituality back into the workplace. I'm going to bring spirituality back into my life. Instead of hiding it here so nobody will know that I have that peace around me, I'm going to bring it out in the open. And as we do that, we will all be raising the consciousness of the universe to make this a more happier, more loving universe. Now, I'm not saying bad things won't happen because it's part of the human experience. We're still going to have good people and bad people. We're going to have people that prey on people. We're going to have people that love people. We're going to have rich. We're going to have poor. We're going to have different races. The human experience. But as long as you keep your triangle of consciousness, the power of the blue rose, and I should have at the very beginning explained that blue rose is impossible to create. The only time you see a blue rose is it's died. D-A-Y-E-D, died. It's genetically impossible. Who knows why? But because of that, the blue rose has taken on this aura of enlightenment, new beginnings, spiritual beginnings. You'll see the blue rose show up like in the Game of Thrones. If you watch that, somebody gave Darnisi blue rose, and somebody gave Sansa blue rose thingamabob they wear, crown. Or you'll see it in different, more futuristic where you see the blue rose. The blue rose is enlightenment. It's your new beginning. At this moment, you want to get your blue rose and say, I am ready to start my new beginning. I am ready to become enlightened. I'm ready to heal. And I'm ready to have hope. I'm ready to forgive myself, and I am so ready to love. And if you just use these tools, you'll be able to. If you just take the time to sit with yourself And this isn't an easy process. I'm not saying that you can, heal your soul overnight. I mean, it took me years to go from somebody very mean, somebody very angry, somebody very hateful, to somebody that just love. I just want to talk love. That's it. So I hope this helped. I do want to talk about this the rest of the week. I'm going to expand, I think, a little bit more on hope, a little bit more on forgiveness, a little bit more on love. So if you have any questions, please let me know. If you're on YouTube, write your comments below. Please subscribe. If you're on my Facebook page, please give me comments. Let me know what you think. And if you're in pain, please let me know. Let me see if I can help you move from pain. Because I don't want people walking around in pain and unhappy, internalizing it, because the only person you're hurting is yourself. So let's get it out. Let's sit down and talk about it and figure out how we can help you out. Also, in mid-September, I'll be doing a workshop, an all-day workshop weekend, possibly a weekend retreat. I'm just working out the details, trying to get some speakers together. So I'm excited about that. My program is on my website, Redesign Your Life Stories. Once you're able to change your life story, you can change your life and have the life you want and have the life you deserve. Let me know if you guys need anything. Have a great day. Bye-bye.